Some random person that I've never met in real life can type anything and just say they're joking and actually mean it until they actually get in trouble. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm ignoring that. We're watching the Antarctica theory.
Throughout our world, few places are more remote and mysterious than the continent of Antarctica. Spanning over 5 million square miles, this mass of land and ice is over twice the size of Australia, yet it holds a grand total of 0 permanent residents. Its brutally frigid conditions and strict visitation laws have made it impossible to fully explore, leading many to question what secrets it may be hiding in its icy landscape.
Do you think any cave women baddies are frozen in the ice? I hope so, bro. Because I'm about to go to Antarctica. The invasion.
In the mid to late 1950s, the United States was heavily invested in nuclear technology, and specifically nuclear weapons. In the midst of the Cold War, it was imperative for the country to gain superior knowledge. Because of this, the United States was constantly building and experimenting on all things nuclear. Over the course of the Cold War, over 1,000 nuclear devices were fired as part of US government experiments, with few being as controversial as the experiments conducted in Operation Argus. The main goal of Argus was to test the effects that nuclear weapons had in colder, high-altitude regions. With these experiments, an estimated 3 nuclear missiles were fired in the vicinity of Antarctica. However, the results of this experiment were never finalized, and the whereabouts of the location in which the missiles hit is still very much a mystery. Following this test, the task force in charge of the program was quickly dissolved, and the majority of the documents associated with the project were destroyed. Included in these documents was also the film reel that would have shown actual footage of the tests. So this alone is pretty sketchy. The destruction of evidence, the hiding of evidence as to what happened there, is something that definitely raises some red flags, but it's also something that's not too surprising for that time period. But where this whole situation gets very strange is when you take a look at a previous mission that took place in Antarctica that has confused the public to this day. In 1946, the United States Navy sent troops to Antarctica and to train them for cold weather conditions as part of Operation High Jump. All in all, 4,700 troops were sent up to the frigid landscape in December of that year.
I'll add them after stream.
The operation lasted just barely a few months as the weather conditions supposedly got too severe. Which, I mean, I'm not sure what they were expecting there, if we're being honest. I mean, it's Antarctica. In total, it was reported that 4 men lost their lives in the short expedition. However, some believe that the number is actually much higher than that, and that in their time up there, the United States Navy was attacked. It is theorized that upon the trip through the harsh landscape
when did they say this was? Like the 30s?
Of Antarctica, the brigade was attacked by unknown crafts, which forced them to retreat out of the area. The attack was highlighted in a now leaked Soviet report where KGB agents had gained knowledge from US soldiers present
You were
at the
part
site
of this
the
mission?
attack. The US soldiers claimed that while they were being attacked by these hostile forces, they reportedly opened fire on the crafts, ultimately shooting one down into the water below.
You are the main character.
However, the advanced technology of these crafts proved way too much for the fleet to handle, and they were forced to retreat.
Something is telling me that this is not a real image. Something's, I don't know what it is. You were in that UFO. Wow. I am so honored to have such a highly esteemed soldier in this chat. That's amazing.
After losing several aircrafts and men in the attack. After the fleet returned back to the United States, one of the leaders of the expedition, Admiral Byrd, began discussing with the media that the United States should set up defense bases in the polar regions, and that flying crafts from the area posed a serious threat to the United States. After these shocking and controversial statements, Byrd was thrown into a mental institution. And
I will say, that guy, give this guy 50 more years, prime U.S. presidential candidate.
Never heard from again. Piecing together the alleged attack on Operation High Jump with the subsequent bombing of the region with Operation Argus, the whole situation leaves a dark theory. Some believe that Operation High Jump was actually an invasion of Antarctica in order to fight off some mysterious force. I mean, why else would they send that many soldiers there? Like, do you really need 5,000 men to set up a research base? Perhaps they fired those nuclear weapons to take care of the enemy once and for all. Now, I feel like this theory is definitely out there, but the fact that it was in an actual Soviet report, and the fact that Byrd was speaking out about this enemy and was quickly silenced.
Dude, I swear the Soviet, like, there's so many things that the Soviets did that seem like fake. They just seem fake. And honestly, the US too. Like, y'all, have you guys ever heard about like the animals that they tried to like implant chips into and like sound devices to try and like use them as spies? They were literally using animals to try and spy on people. That's a cartoon, bro. That's fake. They're like, what? I swear that time, that era, like the Cold War, the US and the Soviets just did some like wild stuff.
Makes it still intriguing to me. Plus, I can't get over why they would send that many people up there to set up a base, and I can't get over why they would fire those nuclear weapons in Antarctica for research when they didn't even end up posting any actual research from their findings. So obviously I have a lot of questions about this theory that I wish I could have answered, and perhaps the biggest one to me is
That looks
what
like such a
actually
mess.
was this unknown force that may or may not have attacked the Navy that day.
What's it? If you guys are watching the YouTube, like and subscribe.
Many of its vast and unexplored landscape makes it one of the only places on Earth that could really hold alien life that would go completely undetected. Like, aliens could just be chilling up there right now, and guess what? We'd have no idea. I mean, I'm not saying they are, but we really can't say that they aren't, right? Now, throughout the years, many have pointed to things like these pyramid structures throughout the region.
I feel like if there's a likelihood of like unknown species not being discovered, which is what unknown means, Matt, I just repeated myself. Oh my God. It would be in the ocean, you know? Like the problem is with Antarctica is like there's only so many types of life that could foster in that type of environment compared to like the ocean. I think the ocean has more likelihood of something like that actually existing, you know?
And claim that they are bases of aliens. They think
Pyramids.
that aliens actually created these things.
I was going to say, pyramids, when people say the aliens built the pyramids, yes, I understand that it's like a crazy achievement, but brother, I feel like that's making such a big jump. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, it literally could not be done by humans. We're just going to go right to aliens. Like, I guess I don't understand that line of thinking because I feel like there's so much missing in between that. They are clearly giant satellite dishes for aliens. See, okay. How do we know aliens though? You know? I don't know if you're rage baiting or not, but I'm just saying, like, I don't even care if you are for this because people really do think that. I don't get it. And I do think it's a little disrespectful to the culture, if I'm being honest, because they did something very impressive and half the people don't give them credit for what they did. As far as we know. As far as we know. I mean, I guess I'll say that. I don't know. What do I know?
And further structures have also been spotted on things like Google Earth that seem to look like man-made or alien-made buildings or layers. And due to our inability to explore these regions and confirm or deny whether these are structures or not, it causes our imagination to kind of run wild with what could have made them and what could be living in there. Now, me personally, I tend to view these structures as just kind of weird-shaped rocks, but I will give some credit that quite a few of them do look pretty convincing. Now, just recently, a photo from Google Earth went viral of what appears to be a spaceship crashed in the snow on an island just outside of Antarctica. With this photo, you see a definite trail behind a large tube-like object, making it appear that whatever this thing was, it had just crash-landed. Now, this photo has quickly become synonymous with alien life in the region. Some experts are quick to dismiss it as a rock that simply slid down a mountain via avalanche.
No.
It's a really interesting photo
it's a
that
big
has
snake.
many who believe that aliens are truly out there excited.
It's
And
the
there's no
snake from
shortage
Harry
of other
Potter.
photos like this that supposedly show crashed UFOs in the snowy Arctic. Many believe that these crafts are the work of alien life forms.
Holy. You show this to like 25% of the people. Holy shit, that's real. Oh my god. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? They're real. They're real. You have 3 pet snakes, so when the snake people take over, they spare me. Yo, W idea.
Thriving in this desolate region. These people also tend to believe that these aliens were also responsible for the attack on the US Navy. It's a frightening concept, thinking that hostile alien life forms may be living in Antarctica, and the idea that they have attacked before
They
may
have real
also mean that
footage?
they may attack again.
Oh my
And with no
god.
defense bases anywhere in the region, nothing would be stopping them from attacking, let's say, a research team of ours in the area. But to me, the idea of aliens being responsible for these mysterious crafts is not even close to being the most interesting theory.
Für richtig hältst.
What?
Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in
Okay,
diesem
video
Jahr
took a
für
bit.
dich eingesetzt
Video
habe.
took a bit of a
Okay,
turn.
this shit goes crazy. Let me just start by introducing the theory, and then I'm going to backtrack and explain how it could be possible. So stick with me here. So the theory here is that members of the Nazi Party were able to escape to Antarctica after World War II. It's said that the Nazis also took with them advanced
Can I even show this on Twitch? It's educational. It's educational. Is that real footage? Hitler is an alien confirmed. Bro, you ever heard the people that say Hitler's still alive, even though he would be like 140 years old? Like, also, he was drugged the hell up, like insanely. They really like made a flying formation like that with planes. What?
weaponry from the war.
What
Weaponry
did I come
like
back to?
flying saucers
A
that
theory
were
video.
responsible for the attack on
Don't
Operation Hydra.
don't jump to
Okay,
conclusions.
so
Okay.
confusing and weird, I know, but let's unpack this for a minute. Even before the start of World War II, Hitler had a fascination with Antarctica. There, he sent multiple fleets to survey the landscape and supposedly look for margarine fat due to the fact that the country's supply would soon be cut off during the war. On these missions, it is theorized that Hitler saw an opportunity, as the vast continent provided the perfect conditions for a hideout should things go wrong. Now, fast forwarding a bit here to the actual war, it is no secret that Nazis were innovators and they were obsessed with creating new and crazy technology. These technologies
Bro, it is crazy that the US paid like some of the former Nazis to help with technology. Like a lot of our technology actually came from them. Like isn't some of the NASA projects, didn't they get like high level Nazis? Which is wild. Like what? Like learning about that for the first time, I was like, what the hell? That doesn't mm, mm.
included things like wonder weapons and all sorts of other shocking and disturbing things. And it is believed that at one point the Nazis set their sights on creating an advanced aircraft that would be ultra powerful and especially
and they let 'em off
difficult to bring
trial?
down. These crafts
Wild.
would have been something completely
Operation Paperclip.
new to our world if they were actually able to create them. And in this theory, believers claim that they actually did. They believe that the Nazis were able to build these flying saucers in secret and use their overpowered weaponry
Why
to
is it lagging?
defeat their enemies. Saucers in secret
Is that
and
just the
use their
footage?
overpowered weaponry
That
to
must just be the
defeat their
footage.
enemies. And looking at all the other crazy stuff that they were able to invent, I mean, it's still improbable, but it's definitely not impossible that they were actually
Dog, this
able to
footage is
accomplish
so
something
bad.
like this. Okay, so if they had this advanced weaponry,
There we go.
how did they end up in Antarctica? Well, perhaps after World War II had ended, the remaining Nazis fled their homeland to avoid persecution and landed in Antarctica, where they likely would have never been found. And the idea of Nazi soldiers and officials escaping Germany after World War II is something that is definitely not outlandish. So many of them have been reported dead, and yet very few bodies were actually ever discovered from the high-ranking Nazi officials. Which that's a whole conspiracy theory of its own, whether these people are still alive or not. But if they are, maybe they fled to Antarctica. And maybe they took their advanced aircrafts with them to A, escape undetected, and to B, keep their technology a secret to possibly use at a later date.
Oh. Wait, I think this could actually be like a legitimate thing. I could 100% see the Nazis hiding like technology in the Arctic. Like that, honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me.
I mean, this kind of makes sense because, as I mentioned before, the Nazis had more information on Antarctica than probably any other country at the time. Because remember, they had sent crews there on multiple occasions. Also, in 2016, Russians actually discovered a legitimate abandoned Nazi base in Antarctica. So they had at least one legitimate settlement there, and it might not be too far-fetched to believe that maybe they had more that just haven't been discovered yet. So perhaps when the US Navy was visiting the area way back in 1946, they stumbled a little too close to the Nazis' secret base, and the Nazis used their advanced aircrafts to fire at the crews and deter them from coming any closer and truly discovering their hideout. And stretching it even further, maybe the US retaliated by shooting those missile tests in the area in order to secretly and quietly kill off the remaining Nazi troops. It is so crazy to think about, it is so weird, it is so probably not true, but it so totally could be. Maybe someday we'll find out if there was any truth to these wild theories.
That one makes a lot more
But
sense.
until then,
The Nazi one could definitely be real. How many years from now do you think that a country is going to try and colonize Antarctica? I feel like it's not even that far away. Probably like 30 years. Like actually going there and colonizing it. Not like a failed attempt, like legitimately colonizing it. Yeah, we have treaties, but let's just be honest, not everybody follows those. Hitler, he he lied a lot, brother, you know? Like also, how the hell did we let Germany try to take over the world twice? Like how does that happen? One country? I always find it wild that they almost like succeeded. I don't know, man. That era was just so wild, you know?